Hello to all my viewers and new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on this channel. I'm coming to you from my garden with this beautiful backdrop of lazy-eyed Susan flowers. There's a flock of birds flying over. Today is Monday, the 29th of June, and I'm going to be reading to you from the Song of God, which is an annual collection of the verses from the Bhagavad Gita broken down into very practical, insightful guidelines, tools, and light knowledge to feed your soul, to nourish your heart, and to settle your mind. I think that's what we all need at the moment. I'm a truth teller, I'm a storyteller, I'm a spiritual guide, I'm a conduit between God's source spirit. And I hope that what I'm going to be sharing with you on this channel as time passes is going to fuel you and excite you about your journey. What is it that you really want? What is it that you want to attain for yourself? Because these days our success is measured in so many different ways, unfortunately some distorted in acknowledgement and validation. So we have to continuously check ourselves and make sure that what we are doing is for our highest good. Over the years, I've become more like a filter for anything negative to be transmuted, absorbed, absolved, alchemized within myself, so that what I present in my physical 3D reality is just a small reflection of my internal universe. And what happens inside myself is a beautiful, safe space where I believe anybody can attune to a high vibrational frequency. And we need these tools. It's so important that we surround ourselves with things that are going to elevate us, things that are going to help us to become the best versions of ourselves. Yes, over generations, women have had a pretty raw deal. And as I get older, I'm guided through my own calling to serve. And I have helped so many different people all over the world over the past 13 years that I've been integrating service, karma yoga into my life. I'm now called to reconcile all of that, as we are all called to reconcile on our past actions, good or bad, to acknowledge the shadow self, to accept and forgive and release. As much as what I find myself in a beautiful space here, you may from time to time hear the sirens in the background. And I think, I see the news as well about Cape Town being called one of the best tourist destinations or one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And I think, has anybody panned across the Cape Flats? Has anybody gone into our poor communities spread all across the Western Cape? And have they actually seen what is there? Have they actually seen what is going on inside these camps and settlements and locations. If they did, and every city has them, they might see otherwise. It was my intention as a woman when I started my nonprofit in 2023 just to be that example. Kind, caring, patient, loving, giving. But after my recent visit to India and coming back to that same location and seeing what has happened in the first few months of really bad weather in Cape Town, I'm actually devastated. It's extremely difficult for anybody living in these circumstances to propel themselves into a better future. There are few like myself, charitable women, honest and wanting to serve, that do not have the necessary support. And after 5 years of doing this integral work myself, I need to step back. I need to put the energy back into myself, and as my calling wills it, to share this journey with you. Maybe we can take the next step together. All right, let's do today's reading. All this world is pervaded by me in my unmanifest aspect. All beings exist in me, but I do not dwell in, am not confined to them. What is that kingly science or kingly secret? As is characteristic of Krishna, he gives in a simple, straightforward verse the whole truth. The entire universe is completely permeated by God, the reality, but in an unmanifested, not so obvious guise. That is what is really meant in Gurudev's famous universal prayer. You are omnipresent. Omnipresent means that there is nothing other than God. If that understanding arises, there is nothing to be negated. This understanding is prevented by various factors, one of which is thinking that this may not be the reality. Instead of investigating what the reality is, the mind assumes that the reality must have certain characteristics, and whatever does not possess these characteristics is not the reality. It gets caught up in its own web of thought, of Maya. The truth of God's omnipresence is, in fact, scientific, though science, which is fast moving towards the same conclusion, may yet take some time before even surmising it. We have already reached the stage at which we are scientifically assured that only one thing exists in the universe, vibrant energy, which, when it is comparatively at rest, appears to be mass. All the elements are atoms arranged in a particular combination, and the atoms themselves are distinguished in accordance with the number of electrons and protons they contain. Yet how is it that a table is different from a book? There is obviously some erroneous perception in the beholder. Who is the beholder? The man. He too shares the same fate as the universe, which to him appears outside. He is also composed of the same elements and factors. Though in reality one alone exists, there is this mysterious internal reflection. It is loosely comparable to the dream of a sleeping man, objects created in and by the one mind acting on one another. Though in calmer and saner moments we may glimpse this truth, it is hard to realize and live in it. This is Krishna's yoga. Constantly remember that God is the soul, though not so obvious, reality, pervading all, including you, but never limited to or conditioned by anything in the universe. Yes, I've spoken about this all-pervading omnipresence and oneness. And I believe, I know, within each one of us is this light. And we don't need to understand fully the reality of this overwhelming gift available to us. If we have trust and faith, we can take these small steps to attune ourselves to the high vibrational frequency that is needed to tune into spirit. Some cord cutting, some snipping away at old limiting belief systems, distractions, and noise. So the purpose of this channel for us is to find that stillness each day, to relax the entire body, tune into the breath, and to find the words that resonate. And if you like what I'm sharing with you, I'm going to ask you please to like this video. You can also go and look at other videos that might resonate with you. There is a special message in there for each one of you. Otherwise, you would not have found me. And I do believe that as the weeks and the months progress, we'll be able to start realizing a lightness that is a blessing. Perhaps we might even experience our own magic, mystery, and miracles through these daily observations. It's about creating space. It's about allowing yourself to feel that freedom outside of the mundane, the monotony, the race. For me also to be an authentic representation of the divine feminine in everything that I do, so that I can inspire other women. It's really not about doing more. It's not about getting yourself all twisted up in knots and anxious about where everything is coming from. I believe that we need as women to receive. There is so much available to us, but we don't understand that abundance can come in so many different forms. And I've always understood that for me, abundance comes in my relationships with others. That's what I appreciate the most. People I can connect with. People who also want to make a difference in this world. People who understand that change comes at a little bit of discomfort and risk. But usually when I've had to take a risk in life, that pathway has been guided and things have opened up for me, and I've been assured that that blessing is straight from God. I'm just looking at the beautiful colors of a sunbird that is rested now on the Strelitzia plant. We have to slow down our pace so that we can see the small things. And the details. What do they say? The devil's in the details? Well, yes. We'll get to that another day. But it's important to read between the lines, especially with what we are consuming on a daily basis. To check in when we find ourselves doom scrolling, and to make sure that the algorithms of our social media know that what we're interested in is actually going to feed us, heart, mind, and soul, instead of creating more entrapment from our choices. Because when you start to remove the things that don't serve you, the other side of that veil is peaceful. It has clarity there for you to make a list of priorities for yourself, conducive to what you might need for manifesting or transformation. So, if you are here and you've reached the end of this video with me, thank you very, very much. I look forward to being here with you again. I like to pause every now and again, have some eye contact with you, attune you to this high vibration of love, openness, and acceptance for the week ahead. We're going into the second half of 2026. Let's have gratitude for that and much appreciation for all the beautiful things. Let's not take anything for granted. Sending peace, love, and light. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. God bless.